Hey everybody, it is Monday, and if it's Monday, then that means it is time for Mondays in the meditation room with Dr. K for Midlife Musings. How excited I am when it's time for the women to gather, for the women to celebrate each other, for us to encourage each other as we are on this journey of midlife. And guess what? In the meditation room, we are not accepting that this is just a crisis or chaos. We are redefining what midlife is. It is a refreshing, it is a reimagining, it is renewing, right? It is a rebirth of who we are in this most amazing and sacred season of our lives. Mondays in the meditation room with Dr. K is a part of Enlightened Woman Enterprises, and we are all things Black women empowerment and enlightenment for midlife. So thank you for joining us on tonight. Whether you're live or whether you're watching the replay, you are welcome to the sisterhood. Good evening, y'all. I see you coming in. Come on in. Make sure you take time to invite another sister, text her, email her, tag her, tell her to come show up either in our Enlightened Woman private Facebook group or the Enlightened Woman Facebook page or the Kelly B. Hayes YouTube channel. You can get us. There's multiple ways, so you don't have to miss out. So welcome. Come on in, y'all, into the room, the meditation room. We are so excited. Y'all know, just loving the Mondays in the meditation room theme song. Can you hear it? I just love it. It's a vibe. It just makes me feel so mellow. Just want to chill. welcome. So we're celebrating the entire month of January because we are celebrating the second anniversary of Enlightened Woman Enterprises. It's been 2 years and we are still growing, glowing, finding our footing. But who wants to wait for perfection to celebrate? 2 years is a good number and it is a good opportunity for us to celebrate. So what I decided to do was celebrate with what I've been calling HWICs, Head Women in Charge, women in midlife who are midlife entrepreneurs, co-founders, C-suiters, creatives in midlife that are just doing their thing. Hasn't it been awesome? If you've been with me over the last few Mondays, come on, put it in the chat. Just say, I agree. It has been awesome. It has been awesome. So tonight is no different. So excited. My good girlfriend, Margaret Thompson, is here with us on tonight. Celebrate. Come on, get in the chat. Just say welcome, Margaret, to Mondays in the meditation room. Just say welcome to the room. I'm so excited. She's my friend. I've known her for a minute, but this is the first time I get to introduce her and read her bio, Margaret Thompson, because I want to get into our conversation on tonight. Welcome. Hey, y'all. I see you. Come on in. First Lady Margaret Thompson is a native Washingtonian. Somebody say, woo, woo. You in the chat. Are you a native Washingtonian? Amen. You about that mumbo sauce life. You about that go-go. Amen. Were you born and raised right here in D.C.? Tell us all about it. She was educated in the District of Columbia Public Schools. She received her Bachelor of Arts degree in Business Administration from the Lindenwood University, St. Charles, Missouri in May of 1982. Lady Margaret started with humble beginnings as the sixth child of 7 born to Minister Melvin Smith and Deaconess Gertrude Smith. Awesome man, a woman of God. It says they taught family values by providing an excellent example of parents displaying their love for one another, as well as their children and family. Being raised in a godly home, growing up in a loving church paved the way for her to diligently serve God. She sang in the choir and served on the nurses board. Margaret, can I tell you, when I read that, I was cracking up. I was like, let me talk to Margaret. I had no idea she was on the nurses board. Come on, y'all. Today, she serves on the trustee board, the praise team, and the women's ministry. One of her greatest moments on earth is when she married her best friend, Pastor G. Ainsworth Thompson. Yay, my friend Grant. She works alongside of him in all facets of the ministry as the First Lady of Church of the Rock Praise Factory. Both she and Pastor G are kingdom builders working to edify the body of Christ. She is a visionary in more ways than one. She has a prophetic mantle over her life. Indeed, she does. They are the proud parents of Justin Grant, and she has a daughter in love called named Crystal, and then Jeremy Alexander, and another beautiful daughter in love, Jasmine, and two grandsons, which is the light of their lives, Jeremy Alexander and Jackson Lee. Margaret is blessed to have both of their sons and daughters serving in ministry with them, serving God and serving under their father, which is unlike many churches and ministry, and this gives them both immense joy. Margaret has spent years working the boardrooms of both the private and public sectors. But in the midst of a global pandemic, can y'all say it with me? In the midst of a global pandemic, Margaret partnered with her husband to launch a thriving business, the DC Shy Pie. Through this business, the Thompson have served over 20,000 pies and have been featured by NBC4 News, the City Paper, the national syndicated Elliot in the Morning radio show, and a host of other media outlets. In her leisure, she loves traveling and spending quality time with her family. It is through travel that she and her husband launched into business after being inspired by a day trip to Chicago while visiting friends in nearby Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She has many passions for doing the work of the kingdom. However, she has a heart for married couples and the youth. Pastor G and First Lady Margaret have been married for 37 years and strongly believe that a happy marriage makes a happy home. A happy home makes for productive citizens and community. She says, don't get me wrong. I love this statement, y'all. Listen to this. Don't get me wrong. We have our moments, but our moments don't have us. Woo! Put that in the chat. That's something to live by, y'all. We get in the moment and then get out of it quickly. Woo! That's so powerful. As for the youth, her desire for young people is that they live their lives in such a way that they can change the lives of others they come in contact with. The Thompsons exemplify Christian family modeling, which encourages others, their sons, friends, singles, and married couples in the ministry and abroad. Her favorite scripture is Psalm 121, realizing that Jesus is her help in all that she does. She continues to encourage others that although ministry is not easy, it's worth building and fighting for so that others can experience the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Come on. Come on, meditation room. Come on, enlightened women. Come on, guests to here. Help me to welcome as I bring up Lady Margaret Thompson as we're celebrating HWICs. Yes. Hey, Margaret.
Hey.
I'm so glad to have you on tonight. And the folks are in, they're saying woohoo. So I'm gonna, since
Oh,
you can't see him and I can see him, look, our girl Vita's on. She said, hey everybody,
hey, Vita May.
name so that you can recognize your family and your
Yes.
tribe here. Raquel is
Oh, okay.
watching.
Hey,
Yay! I'm so excited. Devanya Gordine, Cheryl King. All right, Bobby Smith, Elizabeth
oh,
Mason. So we're
diamonds are rock.
excited.
Yes, the diamonds are on representing.
Yay.
Yay, yay.
So we're excited. So Margaret, I'm just I'm beside myself to be able to have you on
Mhm,
for this month as we're celebrating women in midlife who are either CEOs or presidents or co-founders,
mhm.
entrepreneurs doing their thing in midlife. And when I was praying, like, who do I want to have to celebrate? And I was like, oh my God, my friend Margaret, she a co-founder of a new business. We
Yes, yes,
gotta have her on to talk. So
yes.
I'm so excited. But this is a forum for Black women in midlife. So even
Mhm,
after this amazing bio, and this really is, I know, just a snapshot of who you are and
mhm.
who you've been. I like to give the women an opportunity to just tell us a little bit about themselves, like who is Margaret the woman in midlife.
Okay. So, Margaret in midlife, I'll start off by saying that along with my sister and my niece Raquel, who's on, my sister Gwen and Raquel, we cared for our aging parents slash Raquel's grandparents. And my mom was diagnosed with dementia in 2009,
Mm-hmm.
and we dealt with her up until her death, which was December the 31st, 2013. And I tell folks all the time that with dementia, I learned to love my mother through every stage of life that she
Mm-hmm.
went through because
Wow.
it was still my mom. So, um, being a caregiver for your parents, and we went directly from caring for my mom to my dad,
Mm-hmm.
and he had congested heart failure. He was diagnosed with congested heart failure, but my dad literally died of a broken heart
Mm-hmm.
1 year and a week after my mom.
Wow.
And just, who thought you would be taking care of parents? That's
Mm-hmm.
nothing that we were taught or that it was ever discussed. And you find a lot of that that's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Becoming empty nesters,
Mm-hmm.
gaining daughters through marriage
Mm-hmm.
to grandsons,
Mm-hmm.
um, starting a business during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing was, this is huge, being diagnosed at the age of 60 with carcinoid cancer.
Wow. Yeah.
And this was 2019, actually July of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
The nodules were discovered May of 2019. And so I went through having a surgical biopsy, um, being told that there were 9 nodules, 4 on one side, 5 on the other side. And after that, my doctor says, okay, there's no cure for it,
Mm-hmm.
but it is treatable. But
Yeah.
this is something that you're going to have to do for the rest of your life. So for the rest of my life, I have 4 nodules on one side of the right, 4 on the left still.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be removed because if they remove them, then there's no lung there. Um, I have to monthly, I have monthly appointments with the oncologist, get blood drawn, then go see the oncologist. He does the examination. And then I get a shot in my lower back, which can I tell you, it is wearing me out.
Mm-hmm.
But I thank God because I am not my diagnosis.
Yes.
That's what I was diagnosed with, but I'm not my diagnosis. I thank God and I pray daily for total healing over my body.
Man, Margaret, can I tell you?
Yes.
You are speaking to the sisters that are in the room. One of them, Crystal, she says, my God, you're talking to me. She said, my
Wow.
mom has dementia right now, and her
Mhm.
dad passed from congestive heart failure.
Wow.
And talking about that whole caregiving piece in this time
Yeah.
of life, dealing with now, the empty nesters, transitioning to
Yes.
that. And that's been
Yes.
such a big part of your life.
Yes.
You got to kind of regroup and find yourself again. And then a health diagnosis that is also like, I almost want to say classic midlife, where we deal with something that's going on in our bodies that we
Mhm.
have to or
Yeah.
deal with on a regular basis. So it just hearing your story, hearing your testimony, knowing that is a part of it. And that key was it's a diagnosis, but
Yeah.
it's not you.
It's not me. That's right. Yes.
I
And
love it.
yeah. Then one other thing,
Hmm.
planning to retire from my 9 to 5 within the next 2 years.
Yes.
God knows that with the DC Shop High, working that business, that's just really setting it up for me to walk away from the
Mhm.
job. But it's time, and I'm looking forward to that. And then finding a balance between work, church, family, and keeping the spark in a marriage
Woo!
after being married for 37, going on 38 years.
Yes.
Yes. So that's who Margaret is in midlife.
Yes,
My
Margaret, that's so awesome. I love it. Man, You talking about that whole marriage piece? That's a whole nother thing, right?
Oh, yes.
And keeping that spark. We're
Yeah.
actually doing what we call a 14-day bliss boost. We do
Mhm.
from February 1st through the 14th, because
Uh-huh.
everybody needs a little boost.
That's
We
the truth.
just,
Yes.
I mean, even with this pandemic and everything,
Yeah.
just in general,
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
need
for
to
sure.
spend that time and spend some. So for those of you who are in the room, go to our IG and Facebook page and find that whole Bliss Boost piece, 14-day Boost, and register. Come on in. And so I want to talk to Margaret now as
Mm.
a co-founder of a business in
Yeah.
Midlife. Oh my God. Can you just share with us a little bit of the story about how that started and how that came to be?
Yes, we during March of 2019, right in the beginning of the pandemic, we were visiting the Franklins in Milwaukee. We went to spend a few days with Anthony and Twanda for Anthony's birthday. He said that's all he wanted was us to come out. So we went out, went to Chicago for a day trip because it's just an hour away. And of
Mhm.
course, when you go to Chicago, you have to have deep dish pizzas.
Yes.
Asking around, what's the best place? Where's the best place to find deep dish pizza? So they said Luminati's, Giordano's, Geno's. So they were just naming places. So we ended up going to um, Giordano's. We went to Giordano's. So
Mhm.
got back home in the midst of the pandemic, and can I tell you, coming home that was the scariest trip because they shut down every rest area on the highway. You
Oh
couldn't.
my
Yeah, it wasn't until we got to Pennsylvania that we were able to actually go into a rest area and use the restroom. And
God.
the tolls, there was no one manning the tolls. You just went straight through because there's no one manning the tolls. And we didn't know right before we left home, people were beginning to buy up everything in the grocery stores. And we were like, okay, should we come home early? But, we managed to stay. But coming home, that was a scary thing. So once we got home, we're stocked with everything in the house.
Mhm.
And I said, man, we should get some deep dish pizzas. So I go online
Mhm.
and I'm getting ready to place the order. And Grant, he's looking and he's like, for that amount, I'll make you a pizza. Never made a pizza a day in his life. He's made some things, but not a pizza. Not
Mhm.
even the school kit that we used to get for the kids.
I remember those.
Right, right. So he went online, got a recipe. We went to BJ's, bought a mixer, and so he came home. And we had, because the churches were virtual at the time, so
Mhm.
we were having the guys were here doing praise and worship, preparing for praise and worship to record. And he made a pepperoni and sausage deep dish and a veggie deep dish.
Mhm.
And he's like, you guys got to come up here and taste this. So everybody was like, oh, this is good. So then he says, well, I'm going to place it, take pictures and put it on social media, not thinking anything. So everybody's like, how can I get one? So Liz Faison, one of the elders at the church, I believe she's on tonight. She
Mhm.
was the first person to purchase. She's like, I'll buy a pie. So she was
Wow.
pie. We met her and her son down at the harbor, gave them the pie. And I can also tell you, Dr. K, that you were the inspiration behind one of the pies, and that's one of our popular pies, the smoked salmon pesto, because you didn't like red sauce. So Grant's like, okay, you like pesto? You said, yeah. He said, okay, what about salmon? And when he made that pie, you're the inspiration behind that.
Look at that. Yay.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
Yes.
That
Yes.
crust is like, y'all need to guard that secret
Oh,
with your life, right?
yes. It's unbelievable. And it's like, who would have ever thought that we would be in the pizza business? We thought it was just something that, we was going to start out just, it would fizzle, but
Mhm.
nope, it just kept intensifying. And people, I mean, it was a demand for it because there's no place in the DMV where you can buy a deep dish pizza. People say Uno's, but it's not the same.
It's not the
It's
same.
not the
No,
same.
it's not the
Not
same as
the
Pizza
same.
Popeye.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And so, are you guys still doing the flats now, or did you?
Yes, we are. We have two staple flats, which is the Georgetown, and that's basically like eating a gyro on pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, native Washingtonian, woohoo! So we had to do homage to the mumbo sauce. So we have a chicken and mumbo sauce, and we call that the Southeast, the big chair.
Big chair. I love it. Y'all got to try
And,
that big chair one. It is
and
good.
it's popular on the menu. And because a lot of people don't want the deep dish, we don't advertise it, but we will make a flat sausage and pepperoni or flat veggie. But
That's
it's not
awesome.
advertised.
I
Yeah,
love it. I'm so excited. Did you ever think, Margaret, that in midlife you would be a
mhm.
co-founder of
Never,
a new business?
never, no, I mean, you couldn't have. Not even 3 years ago, you
Mhm,
couldn't tell me. I can tell you, we had 2019.
mhm,
Grant asked the members, he says, I want you to present a business plan. And he said that we're not going to have your normal watch night service. We're
mhm,
going to pray over businesses. And that night, we had 40 businesses that were launched at Church of the Rock Praise Factory. Now, the DC Shop Pie was not one that we were going to launch.
mhm,
We were going to do real estate. I
mhm,
gotten a book, actually three books. A friend of ours is a real estate agent,
mhm,
and expressed the interest and was talking to him about it. So he gave me the books to study. He says once you study these, you can just go and take the test. Never,
mhm.
never got to that. So
Wow,
what we thought was going to be real estate ended up being a piece of business.
man,
Yes,
following God pays off. You
yes,
just never know. Being open.
and open and obedient. Open
Mhm.
and obedient. Yes,
That is such an amazing
yeah.
story. Come on, y'all, Enlightened Woman Tribe. So just comment and chat, put something in the chat about how amazing that absolutely is. Because it was that idea was so awesome that we did something once. Grant told us about that. We said that is awesome. And we told him, Grant, we're gonna try that. We did something similar to
Mhm.
that on Watch Night Service. And how powerful is that to
Yes,
provide a space for people to launch
yes.
businesses, and then you end up being one of them.
Right, right.
So as we're talking about and celebrating HWIC's head women in charge that are, entrepreneurs and co-founders and CEOs, what would you say in this experience, in this journey, even as short as it's been, but
Yeah.
how power packed it's been,
Mhm.
what would you say was the most challenging or the greatest struggle or disappointment trying to be an entrepreneur?
I'd say the transition from the house to our current space that we're renting,
Mhm,
and only because I was in the comfort zone in the
mhm,
house.
mhm,
You're here, you can do everything, and then when you shut it down, I mean, you're still here in the house.
mhm,
There's no overhead in terms of paying rent or
mhm,
electricity, any other bills outside of what you would normally pay in
mhm.
your home. So, stepping out and getting out of your comfort zone, hiring staff, just
Wow, yeah.
layers of additional things that you didn't need in the house that you would need in the store, and the supplies, the increase in purchasing
Wow.
supplies. Now, I think I've always been like that. Not that I'm a skeptical person, but cautious.
Mhm,
Whereas Grant, he's like, let's do it. He dreams big and goes for it. But I think it's good because you have a balance with between the two. So I'd say that was a challenge for me, and it may not have been for him, but it was for me. And another challenge is, not listening to people, because a lot of people thought, oh, y'all still doing pizza? Like,
Mhm.
this was just going to go away. And when it was really, and when it became real to us, because of the demand, and Grant always say we had to like give our neighbors pizza because I mean there would be cars lined up the block with people coming to pick up pizza.
Wow.
So I mean but our neighbors were very gracious, and they even purchased pieces from us as well. But listening to people, the naysayers,
Mhm.
and also being careful of everybody wanting to invest in you,
Mhm.
and you have to be prayerful and intentional, in order to protect the brand and the product.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
That is such good news, even for us
yes,
just in life.
yes.
Paying attention and being intentional about who we connect with,
Hmm.
and because we're as individuals, we're brands, right?
Yes, yeah,
Protecting the brand, but
mhm,
that is so important. That's a good thought for those of you who are thinking about starting a business or running a business, or you're doing it now. Be careful who
yes.
you connect with, who
That's
you
right.
allow to um, want to invest, because every investor is not a good
Not a
idea
good
for
one.
you,
No.
right?
Yeah,
And
that's
protect
true.
your brand. That is wow. So then what would you say has been the most exciting thing, the thing you would celebrate or see as an achievement?
Oh, so I'd say our slogan is that we're the best, have the best deep dish pizza in the DMV. And
Mm-hmm.
when you hear customers, new and returning,
Hmm.
saying the same thing, when you hear native people, people who are native Chicagoans,
Wow.
and they even say, this is better than any deep dish pizza I've had in Chicago. That's huge. That's
That's
huge.
huge.
Fine. And also when you have people coming from, all around the DMV,
Mhm.
but as far as Manassas,
Mm.
Fredericksburg, Stafford, Quantico, um, Richmond. We had a gentleman come from Richmond. Then
Wow.
as far as north as Delaware, Baltimore, Philly. And we've had people come from New York. Early on in the pandemic,
Hmm.
Raquel and a group of her friends, they met up. They started in New York, went
Hmm.
down to New Jersey and to Philly, and came on to DC and had a caravan and came and bought pizza.
I love it.
I mean, when you, and then also when you look at the Google ratings, the Uber
Mhm.
Eats ratings, the Postmates ratings, and ratings on Instagram and Facebook, and you read the comments, and they talk about the staff being professional and just friendly. That's gratifying and very satisfying.
Woo. I
Yeah.
love it. That is, y'all just don't. I can jump out my little stool here and run around the room. How excited and happy I am
Yeah.
for you. Would you encourage the women to, take that leap of faith if they feel
Yes.
like they're being encouraged to, do something outside the box, start
Yes.
something, you know, um, do that thing that they're passionate about,
Hmm.
that they
Yes.
feel that they need to do something with. What would you encourage them, and how would you encourage them to just go ahead and go for it?
Yeah, don't be afraid to step out of the box. I mean, we're not living. If you look at our lives now, nothing's within the box.
Hmm.
What we're doing church differently now.
Right.
That's not the same.
Hmm.
And there's so many opportunities out there, and there's a lot of businesses that have
Hmm.
birthed during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But I would say follow your heart, follow your dream, and just go for it. Just go for it, and pray and ask God. I every day I ask God. I said, Lord, send new customers, send returning customers from the east, the west, the north, the south. God bless the DC Shop High. I name every employee, bless them, bless the
Yes.
hands, and let us have a productive day. And God will do it. He
Yeah.
will do it. And we've watched him do it over and over again.
I love it. As we think about, because right before I came, I was a little bit late, y'all, signing in. I just want y'all to know that Margaret, the co-founder of DC Shop Pie, was already on the platform waiting for me to show up. I was running late because I'm also doing a master class for my book, The Enlightened Woman, and it has been. I don't have any words for
Mhm.
what God is doing with women in midlife and just rediscovering the joy
Mhm.
of being who we are. And so, this opportunity for us to kind of continue to live our lives and use all the gifts that
Yeah.
God has given us to just go for it and not allow ourselves to be put in a box and defined, in ways that God did not define us. And so
Yeah.
this space and this season is really for women in that place who can get stuck sometimes. We can all get stuck and
Right.
not know which way to go, feel like we've lost ourselves in the midst of our lives. And
Mhm.
so y'all, I just want you to know, like when you hear Margaret's story, when you hear the wisdom that's coming from her mouth and her heart, I'm encouraging you to receive it. I'm encouraging you to know that God is not a respecter of person, and she is such a beautiful and generous person. And when we think about where we are now, the things that we've gone through to get where
Mhm.
we are,
Yes.
Margaret, as we get ready to close, what advice? And I love this question. When it first came to me, it really made me think.
Uh-huh.
What would I tell my 25-year-old self? Y'all know how we do. That's what we've
Yes.
been asking the women, and the wisdom has been often awesome. What would you tell your 25-year-old self?
Yeah. Well, I would tell my 25-year-old self, don't be afraid to invest in Margaret at 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Educationally, financially, physically, make healthier choices for my body. Because if I'd known at the age 25 or even earlier, I wouldn't have neglected some things that I did. So
Mm-hmm.
those are some of the things I would tell. I would, because when you invest in yourself, you acquire knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and you get a return on every aspect. It doesn't even matter. You get a return on what you invested in.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also tell my 25-year-old self, don't be afraid to dream. Don't
Mm.
be afraid to dream.
Ah, I
Write
love it.
a vision, make it plain upon tables that you may run and read it.
Mm-hmm.
And then sit back and watch God manifest it. Watch him do it. That's what I would tell yourself.
Margaret, can I tell you that is so good? Don't be afraid to invest in
Yes,
yourself
yes.
in every area of your life.
Every area, yes.
Oh my God. And don't be afraid to dream big.
Yes.
Oh my God. That is so good. So good.
Yes.
Man, Margaret, this was awesome. Thank you. And of course, I'm going to ask you to put your camera down just a little bit or stand up because I want everybody
Okay.
to see your. There it is, the
Okay.
DC iPod. There it is.
Hold on. DC Shy Pie. And
Yes.
I'm going to represent.
Look at that,
Represent.
DC,
Yes.
DC, DC.
Yes. And I don't know if you can see. Can you see the back?
Come back. Yes. Oh my God. The best
Yes.
deep dish pizza
Yes.
in the
And
DMV.
we have merch. I said, okay, let me wear my DC Shy Pie.
That was so awesome. They got merch, y'all. So
Yeah.
before we go, do y'all have a website? Where can they get the merch? Where can they order pizza? Where can they come pick up pizza?
So it's the dcshypie.com. That's our website.
Mhm.
And if you want to order our merch, you can dial our number, which will be on the website, is 703-867-4513. And if you want to come try us out, get some pizza, we're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 7. And we're at 4801 Marlboro Pike, Capitol Heights, Maryland. We're inside the Compare Foods grocery store. And just be on the lookout because we're doing some big things. We're doing some big things, and we got some things that are, that we're having a bag that's gonna be revealed in the near future.
Good things are in the works. Good
Yes,
things are in
yes,
the
it is.
works.
Yes,
I love it. Y'all, thank you for joining me
yes. Thanks for
for
Dr. K. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
yes.
And I didn't get to tell you, we have a staff of 8 that work for the shop. We have 7 people that are in the store, and we have our social media director. I mean, just a. I could just say it's all God because He just brought the staff, and the staff share our heart and the vision.
Yes, that
Important
makes all
to
the
have
difference
that.
in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
That's it. Y'all help me thank Margaret Thompson for being here with us in the meditation room for Midlife Musings. Come on, put it in the chat. Let me see some thank yous. Thank you. Say thank you, Margaret. Thank you for being here with
Oh,
us.
thank you for having
Thank
me. I
you for
appreciate it.
sharing your wisdom with us. I am so excited about the future, and I am excited about women in midlife because the statistics, Margaret, is that
Hmm.
over 600, I want to say million. I usually have my notes. I don't have my notes in front of me in terms of the statistics of how many women are in midlife right now or
Hmm.
coming into midlife, that
Wow.
we are the ones who have this nation and this economy going forward, because there's so many of us, and
Yeah.
companies are starting to change their products and market to us.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I just want to make sure that we as Black women in midlife have a piece of that economic pie, that
Yes.
these large companies are not just marketing to us and we're buying from them, but that we're creating the companies and the products and the services and the goods where people are buying from us, so that we can build a better future for the generations coming behind us.
And
Well,
Dr.
y'all,
I was
mhm.
can I say that you didn't tell like we have people that are from our church on. Dr. K has a book, Enlightened Women, and it deals with midlife crisis and women in midlife, rather. So I would encourage you guys to get her book. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was when she talked about not having examples of, what to expect or do in midlife because we didn't have anybody to tell us about it.
Yes.
And I definitely didn't have that. And it would, be good just you have daughters so you can chronicle, your life so that they can know what to expect. But I just think that is so important. And I know that was a God-given idea that He gave you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Margaret. I just love you for that. Awesome. Y'all, this has been phenomenal. Oh man, it doesn't get any better than this, y'all. So
Oh,
come on and meet us on Mondays. We're here Mondays in the meditation room, 9 o'clock. And it is life-changing and affirming. So we thank you. Join us again. And you have somebody that wants to see it, have them come to the Facebook page, have them come to the YouTube, Kelly B. Hayes YouTube channel, the Enlightened Woman Facebook page, and watch the replay, because you don't want to miss this wisdom that Margaret has given us on
thank you.
today. So this is it, Enlightened Women. We are redefining midlife. It's not a crisis or chaos, but it
Yeah.
is a reimagining. It is a
Yes.
renewing, a
Yes.
redefining of who we are in midlife and beyond. Have a great evening, everybody. I absolutely love you, and I look forward to having you back again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Love you guys.
Don't hang up yet, Margaret. I'm gonna close out, but hang on for a minute.
Okay. All right.
All right. See y'all next
All right.
week.